Welcome, party people. Frank Boxing Live. Time to talk some boxing. You know what time it is. Lord Chilaquiles. Boxing will never leave you. That's right. It'll never leave you with everything going on. Let's get to an intro, though, real quick.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Frank Bay, talking that boxing biz, say your opinion, but you don't say it. What it is, you know that it's Frank Bay, popping that boxing biz, but you don't mean it. Frank Bay, Frank to the busy bay, that's right, you know that it's Frank Bay. Frank Bay, popping that boxing biz, say your opinion, but you
That's right. Frank Bay, that's right. Zuparu, salute, John Blaze. Thank you guys for being here. It is, I believe, the Academy Awards tonight. I don't know if you guys are into that Hollywood weirdo shit. Marco Verde looked decent yesterday. You know, what's crazy is that, you hear all the crazy rumors about this Hollywood stuff, but it's the Academy Awards. I guess it's a big deal. Do people even go to the movies anymore? Do you guys go to the movies? I think I went last week, man. I seen some good movies, but I like going to the theater. But anyway, you guys don't give a shit about that Hollywood stuff. Let's talk about Arnie Barboza. You know, I put the thumbnail. Everybody's calling out Rai. You know, King Rai. That's how you know he's the man. And Sweet Poison. Would you date a girl named Sweet Poison? Gabriella. Look, man, I'ma just say it. Smash or pass on Gabriela Fundora, who showed up and basically put on the performance of the night. How about that? Of all the performances, Sweet Poison, Gabriela beat up a grandma, a 43-year-old fighter who started at like 30. That's wild. That's the level of competition of women's boxing, right? That's crazy. She started at 30 years old. Barboza looked good yesterday. Where was that against Tio? Barboza's a front runner, man. I'm sorry to say, man, he's lackluster. A grandma. Well, 40 is not too old. I think 40 is more of a MILF, but it might as well be a grandma, right? I mean, people are having kids at like at 15, 16. But Gabriela, you know, she's only like 23 or something. But she had the fight of the night, which is wild. You know, since Barboza was not entirely fantastic, you know, a gilf. Yeah, she wasn't a grandma. Grandma's more like 60. When I think grandma, I think gray hair, right? That's more of a grandma. But I mean, they said she started boxing at 30. This is the level of boxing, women's boxing. And salute ESPN, who just added women's boxing as their main stable. Hit the like, guys. Hit the like. You know, Lord Chilaquiles, boxing will never leave you. That Queensberry card in Ireland was absolute bin juice. Kenny Sims got dominated by a slick Mexican. Yes, Kasasi wins at like another older fighter, right? Kasasi wins at, I believe he was like 38 or something. Is that how old he was? But yeah, you know, the fights were decent, right? Very decent, not anything to write home about, but you know, Frank Bay predicted this. I said, look for mediocrity. You know, War Barboza, he comes in with all the Aztec dress heads, and when I see the Aztec stuff, I'm like, dude, you better come in and kick some damn ass, man. You can't go in with Mexican, you know, here it is, man. He walks out with the Aztec warriors, and they cut people's hearts out. You know, ate them. They ate people's hearts out, and then he goes into box to a comfortable decision. Kasasi versus Jaza was basura. Yeah, you know, look, man. I'm a boxing head. You tune in to Frank Bay to hear some boxing talk, but I can't watch everything. You know, I'm sorry to tell you. You know, there's Nonito Donaire fought last night. How about that? I mean, wow, that was very interesting to say the least. I fell asleep. I couldn't stay up. I just had it on the TV. I tried, and then Nonito, I guess, got pounded on. Did anybody watch Nonito get his ass beat? And you know, Rachel Donaire, the MILF that she is, she keeps trotting him out. Like, come on, let's go get some more money. And it was crazy. It was in Japan. It was actually on ESPN last night. Nonito needs to retire before he gets serious damage. Shakur is having a hard time picking for cherry-picked opponents. Yeah, I watched it. Well, you're on the other side of the globe, right, Carl? Yeah, man, Nonito in action, the Kasasi, Barboza, and you know what up, son? Oh, it's the never the troll, the troll never sobers accounts. You know, can somebody make a troll Frank Bay account? You know, I haven't made it until somebody trolls me. That's what I need in my life. I need somebody to make a fake Frank Bay troll account and go to different channels and troll on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't made it yet, man. Now, let's grow Frank Bay, man. Let's let people know, man. This dude gives the realest boxing takes. You know, I will be dropping the link soon. Shout out Frank Bay, the God. Yeah, that's right, baby. You know who keeps it real, realer than the realest. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, Barboza and everybody's calling out Ryan. You know, Alex Rocha was on the undercard, and he kind of facing Jojo Diaz. And now, I want to play that again. Jojo Diaz with the highlight of the night. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Lil Frankie. Who said I was Lil, homeboy? Frank hasn't made it till he has a troll account. Yeah, Blaze, hook a player up. Get one of the homeboys to make like 2 or 3 Frank Bay accounts, you know, and troll on my behalf. You know, send them to other people. Jojo got son. Yeah, did you see the end where they announced and it looked like they thought he won? You know, I don't know if you guys remember that Southwest commercial, Want to Get Away. And you know, it's, I guess, you know, like you were in a girl's house and you open the medicine cabinet and then you spill everything and it's Want to Get Away. Jojo did the Want to Get Away. Like, he got on his knees. He was like, the guy got beat into thinking he won. That was crazy. And how about that little alien head kid? What was his name? Cado, the Mexican. He needs his Mexican pass revoked. I'm sorry. He quit on his stool. I guess his corner quit for him. Colazo won. You know, Rocha very lackluster. How do you not get Jojo punching back Diaz, moving up another weight class out of there? Rocha, I mean, look, man. I don't take Mexican boxing passes away. He only had 1 round. Who? Sergeant Apollos. Nonito Donaire let his wife talk with other men. I've heard those rumors. They call him Cuck Donito, but you got to give Donito his respect. He's going out there with a wheelchair and a walker. And I mean, it's time, man. It's time. He gets on TV because of his name. But man, this TBS is going down. You guys are still beefing. Who do you guys want Frank Bay to beef with? I need some beef in these YouTube streets. I can't stop. Whoa. Man, get somebody hook Frank. I need trolls upon trolls. But you got to go to the other channels so Frank Bay gets his voice out there. You know what I'm saying? Let's grow this thing, man. We starting to come back. You know what I'm saying? Nonito's cucking. I don't know. That's the rumor. People say different things. Nonito was slow in getting his face jabbed off. It was, you know, Nonito, he still looks strong. You know, Frank versus ring IQ. He's got way more clout, and I mean, I'm a small fry. I mean, I'm not a hater, you know what I'm saying? But I need some, you know, whoever. We can beef with whoever. Go set that up. I'll beef with whoever. Whoever you guys don't like, I'm down to beef with. You know, even if we got to do a fake beef, you know, like the rappers do. Did you guys watch the there was a lot on, right? There was like some kind of, it wasn't a Misfits card. It was Aiden Ross. Did you guys watch that? Rapey don't ring IQ, bruh. Nah, man, he charges for beef. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. But I ain't afraid of nobody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get it. But we got to work our way up the ranks. You know what I'm saying? He's probably more on the title. He's probably got a title. I need someone more along the contender class. You know what I'm saying? Some weak-ass fool. Veronica, hit the like and subscribe. Veronica farted. Is Mirage here? Nah, I've been cooked Mirage. He don't ever want to show his face. I think he gives thumbs downs, but fuck him. You know what I'm saying? I'm now in the boxing community because I cuck to anyone and everyone. Hey, if you're not cucking, you're not living. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, back to boxing. Yeah, very lackluster card. I give the card about a C minus. What'd you guys think? You know, Oscar De La Hoya was on the Tubi. Well, not the Tubi, but he was saying that it's basically over. His relationship with Virgil Ortiz is over. It's over, man. Nonito grandpa needs to retire. Yeah, it looks like there was like some big fat kid in his corner. I wonder if that's his kid, you know. But hey, Nonito is a legend, but it looks like, man, he's just being pushed out there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see the fight in his face, and he got pounded on. I like Benavidez because Mirage like Benavidez. Salute. Let's go. Benavidez, you know. Every prospect at the ProBox card looked terrible this weekend. Yeah, that Valle guy, not good. So what happened now? Virgil, yeah. You know, his manager, Rick Meridian, is on. He's been going on rants this morning. You know, he's been saying he went paragraph for paragraph saying that, look, man, I did the live before. I did a video. You know, it's over, man. Virgil, you know, Oscar basically, in my opinion, clowned Virgil. He said he's basically a 30-year-old prospect with no belt. Najee and Valle isn't it? Hey, if you go life and death with Gallegos, look, hell of a fight. I did the live yesterday. Go like and subscribe. I did the live. Hell of a fight. Bloodbath. War. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look at the level of competition. And Gallegos has been bagged by numerous people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you look at, the level of talent, you know? Hey, man, we're boxing fans. You know, we judge. That is what we do. We judge. I've said it before, man. In boxing, you're only as good as your last opponent. I'm sorry to tell you, but you are only as good as your last fight. You know, Floyd Schofield, he wasn't looking good. He knocked out Tevin Farmer, and then everybody's on his dick, you know? Gallegos, a journeyman. Exactly. If you go life and death with a journeyman, it's not looking too good. I'm sorry to tell you. Hit the like, mofos. Virgil not fighting, so who cares? Yeah. You know, you look, man, Blaze. You know, I've been Team Virgil. I've been on Virgil's side, but look, man, you could have did all that without bringing it to the public. So now the public is gonna roast you, and I'm just keeping it 1,000. I blame Rick for the Virgil Ortiz. Well, he's the main culprit. Frank, can you play say that you think these accounts are your pez? Look, I don't care who they are, man. As long as you hit the like, you guys can do whatever you want. Frank Bay is keep censorship to a minimum. Yeah, me too. More straightforward. Virgil out here suing. Yeah, man. Well, he's not gangster. You know. Here's the thing, man. It looks like his pops has a lot to do with it, and Oscar basically roasted him and said that his pops is fighting fans with his shirt off. That's not a good look, homeboy. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not a good look. Virgil needs to fight Oscar in the ring. Maybe one day, you know, Oscar shows he's been training. Everyone asking for Papi Manteca. I don't know who that guy is. I've heard of him, but look, man, he needs to show his face. If you don't show your face, and I don't mean little face, but here you on Frank Bay, then I don't know who you are, and you ain't known. Virgil got that Devin Haney lawyer up style. Yeah, look, man, you got to do what you got to do to protect your career. But at the end of the day, you know, I was thinking about this. At the end of the day, the only one who suffers is Virgil Ortiz. You know, Rick Merrigan, he has other fighters. I believe he works with Arnold Barboza. Oscar still has that guy Idiete. That guy Idiete is the future, man. That guy looks like a beast. Wow, what a freaking beast, bro. That guy's the future. I don't think anybody wants smoke with him. I said it yesterday. Idiete beats Rolando Romero today. Yeah, man. Look, man, you guys keep the troll shit alive. I appreciate it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna count a couple stacks real quick. Just salute. Manteca troll accounts are flooding Frank Bay comments. Hey, man, as long as they hit the like, yeah, I don't care. But you know, I try not to censor. I try to keep it boxing. But let's go back to I guess Keyshawn Davis was in Ryan Garcia's face. There's that. They were going back and forth. This is the other boxing. Blueface getting beat up, which is crazy. But Aiden Ross is doing boxing. He's making noise. Salute to boxing. 88, they dropped Abdullah Mason multiple times in the amateurs. Damn, if you could find a clip, I would really love that. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia going back and forth. So, after Barboza went, I wanted to say this. After Barboza went, after his victory, he called out Keisha Davis. I really want to see that fight. What do you guys think about it? Keisha Davis and Barboza fight. I think that is a really good fight. But I don't think Keisha Davis would particularly be interested in that. I just don't see what the interest is in there for him. But one fight I really don't want to see. One fight I really don't want to see is Rocha and Arnold Barboza. What do you guys think about that? Is that something that the boxing fans are asking for? That we want to see? I tend to think not. Keyshawn would beat Barboza? You think so? Look, man, I'm not one of these people that glazes Keisha Davis. Just not, man. I'm not too high on the guy. The guy lacks discipline. He's crazy. He pulled out of the De Los Santos fight. I think he missed out weight on purpose. The link is in the chat. Hit the like. So, I mean, people glaze that guy. Racism won yesterday. Explain. Yeah, I guess it's crazy in boxing. I guess we're covering amateur boxing. Ryan Garcia's cousin got beat by Sean Haney. So the media is covering that. Keyshawn couldn't knock out Mordeno. Yeah, and it was that was a wrestling match. That wasn't even a boxing match. But look, man, Barboza would be tough for Keisha Davis. I'm just letting you know now. I think, look, I'm not a fan of Arnold Barboza. I thought the Kenneth Sims didn't come to win. What's crazy is that Sims was actually the favorite. I thought that blew my mind. Arnold Barboza was the underdog. I don't know what Vegas was thinking. I've seen Sims before, but it was definitely nothing special. I mean, the guy's kind of your typical back foot bitch. Roger that. Thank you. Salute. A real run. Roger that. Yeah, man. Gypsy Crusader is a white supremacist. Yeah, I think I seen the tattoos on the guy with these what are they called? They're not misfit fights, right? They're influencer fights. Is that what it is? I don't know what they are, but yeah, there it is. But the guy did 1 million views or something like that. Some crazy numbers. Gypsy beat a brother. Yeah, I guess some internet guy, some influencer, Hot Fire. He used to do videos. I seen a couple of them. But boxing is big now, man. Not primetime big boxing, but with the influencers, with the social media people, is really big. And it looks fun. It looks entertaining. I mean, look, man, people want to see people fight. I said that this is entertainment. This is all that people want to do is watch people slug it out, and that's what it amounts to, man. It's seeing people duke it out like this. Like, I guess on St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and these motherfuckers are just fighting in the street. You know what, Zufaru? I have no idea who they are either. But boxing is big in that platform, in that stage with these influencers. So if it brings it, with Jake Paul starting it all, it brings attention. But Ryan Garcia, he's the man. He's the man that keeps getting called out. Barboza called him out. Rocha called him out. The DAZN telecast said that could be a future fight. Like I said, I think I mentioned it before on a previous live. I said, it'd be interesting to see if Davina Hankey and Ryan Garcia go into a fight right away. And I said, I highly doubt it. The way they were talking, they're arguing about drug testing now. It looks like they're gonna try to milk it. And you see here, Keisha Davis and Ryan Garcia going back and forth. They are highly suspicious. Do you guys want to hear this real quick? Let's tune in and see what the hell they're talking about. Okay, I guess you can't hear anything, but they're jibber jabbering, and they're going back and forth, and the Iron's hyped. It looks like they're whispering sweet nothings, and then Ryan said, Ryan tweeted that that's my brother. I would never fight Keyshawn. So, look, man, if you look at what Frank Bay has said, I said Ryan Garcia is the man. He is the man. I've been saying it. Everybody calls this guy out. Barboza got a gift decision against Sean McComb. Yeah. I remember that fight. Yeah, you're right. Damn. That's what they were mentioning on the telecast, that a lot of his fights have been close. Keyshawn was struggling against Anthony Giggett and had to resort to fighting dirty. That's what he does. That's what he does. Barboza's food at 147. Right. It's a new weight class for him. Oh, wait. Now we got more brothers. You know what, man? These guys are master trolls. Hit the link. Hit the like. I dropped the link already if you want to hop on. It's not so much the Barboza fight. It's just, they're calling out Ryan Garcia. There's a possible Rocha Barboza fight. Rolly Romero destroyed Anthony Giggett. Barboza got outboxed by McComb. Even his fight with Jack Catterall was very close. It was he was lucky to get it because he was, in the opponent's hometown. But look, man, Barboza's gonna get a big fight, but like I said, man, sometimes we got to revoke your hood pass, man. We got to revoke your Mexican boxing pass because Barboza is not your typical Mexican boxer. Most of the internet was bad-mouthing it, saying it was boring. It was a masterclass, but it was boring. Frank Saludos, I say, thank you, Cholo. Hit the like one time for a fool. You know what I'm saying? Let's give Frank Bay in the algorithm. Oscar Duarte will give Keyshawn Davis problems. That seems like the one guy that nobody wants to fight. That guy should already have a fight lined up. You know what I'm saying? Richardson ducked out of that. But never forget what it's about, man. It's about the bag. It's about getting the biggest bag possible. And Ryan Garcia offers that for everybody. And what's crazy is Ryan Garcia has already beat Oscar Duarte. He doesn't get any credit for that. Facts, Frankie. Thank you. Richard, the Chihuahua Hitchinson. I've been said the guy's a front runner. I told you that guy's before. And Frank Bay proven once again. And you can always hear by the way these guys talk. Yo, how many accounts of Never Sobers do you guys got, man? You guys that's like I said, that's how you know you made it when people troll you and make a bunch of fake accounts about you. Barboza did the same thing Shakur and Haney did. Frank Bay, shout out my name coming up in the YTBC. Well, as long as you stay here, you'll be recognized. You know what I'm saying? Other people may not, but at least here you will. So Arnie Barboza, Alex Rocha, I think is a dud. I don't think anybody's asking for that or see it. But look, man, I'm gonna say it here, man. I think Arnold Barboza, Sid Boxing, FU salute Sid Boxing, hit the like. Hitchinson's is a low life. The guys are such a fraud, bro. I've been said it, man. He's a front running fraud. He's beating up midgets. He got beat up by Lemos. I'm convinced no one wants a Duarte smoke. And you know what, Zufaru? What's interesting is Ryan knocked him out. As bad as people think Ryan is, he smoked Duarte. Albright got robbed against Keyshawn and Martin. I agree more, DC. You know you're boxing. Veronica, what the... Yeah, you know what, man? Veronica's famous, I guess, in the YTBC. These guys don't stop. But hey, as long as it keeps going, they keep the likes up and the engagement, we're okay with it. Unless they get too out of line, But do you guys want to see Barboza again? What do you guys think of the fight? Give me a letter grade, C-, B+. Look, it was boring. That's what most people said. And I've always known this about Barboza. But the thing about Barboza, well, this is what I said. YTBC needs trolls. Thank you, Carl. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They need a home. If it ain't here, it'll be somewhere else. So, they can live here as long as they don't get too stupid. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn Davis was holding and running for multiple rounds after Albright hit him. Yeah, I mean, we just seen Albright's not too bad. He gave Frank Martin the business, and Keisha Davis was lucky. Jobo Barboza, book it to a Monte legend. Hey, somebody tell me, is El Monte in LA the hood? I always thought it was a suburb. It don't sound like the hood. I know Compton, things like that, but troll lives matter. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They need a home. Frank Bay is a bus stop. You can chill here, but I don't want it to get distracting. Barboza's boring, but he looked best I've seen him. Well, it was the weight. It was the weight. Maybe working with Snacky. Barboza vs. Catterall would be good. You know what, man? I hear you, Roger Dad, but at the same time, both guys, man, they just, they lack that extra gear, man. We need to see the passion. I want to see guys go out. We seen that Najee Lopez. Did you watch that, Roger Dad? Najee Lopez versus Gallegos. They left it all in the ring. They laid it all on the line. Boxing needs to bring back 15 rounds. Yeah, I agree, but I don't think it'd happen. There's just too much risk involved, They want to keep the fighters safe. But what about that guy, Oscar Collazo? That guy, Caro, just quit. That was disgraceful, man. And that guy claimed to be a Mexican fighter, but look, man, see, that's the thing. Frank Bay gets accused of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I'm just pro-Latino fighters, pro-Mexican fighters. I don't like certain fighters. It's like, no, bro. I want to see fights. So Caro, yeah, he's Raza, but he got the card revoked. His card is revoked. You don't fight like that. You don't go out like that. Boring ass fight. Nobody want to be that. Exactly. That's what Frank Bay promotes, man. We want to see fights. That was a great fight, Najee. Exactly. I went on. You know what I'm saying? He's Latino. You know what I'm saying? That's what we appreciate. We don't do the hit, not be hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I guess I'm not a fan of the sweet science. Imagine Canelo GG was a 15-round fight. They'd both be dead. And that's the other thing. You just made me think more, BC, is with PEDs, with Snack. I think these guys would kill each other in 15 rounds, if you know what I'm saying, because 15 rounds measured your endurance. But if these guys are on Snack and PEDs, you don't really need 15 rounds anymore. You know what I'm saying? But watching the Rocha and Barboza, it brought something to mind, man. The link is there if anybody wants to hop on, you know what I'm saying, and challenge Frank Bay and tell him he doesn't know shit about boxing. The link is in the chat. Hit the like. Lord Chilequiles. Boxing will never leave you. My bad, Queen. Wow, you guys already beef. I got so much beef in here. It's all good, though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, that's what boxing is, man. We are not always going to agree. But watching Barboza, when he punches, he's like bailing out when he fights. He's already leaving the pocket when he throws a punch. And it's very hard to watch because it's like, you need to put some mustard on the punches. I need when I watch, that's why I don't like women's boxing, because there's never really a threat of a KO. You know what I'm saying? There's really never a threat of somebody getting knocked out. And I think that ruins the experience, and I'm going to give you an example. Rocha Jojo Diaz, it was literally like watching a guy hit a heavy bag. There was no threat that of anybody getting knocked out, and you just knew it. And the commentators were trying to say, well, JoJo's got a chin. No, Rocha doesn't punt. He doesn't commit. He's bailing when he throws. Barboza fights like an amateur. Yeah, he's got a 1-2. They said it, he doesn't really dig with body. He doesn't really dig on any hooks. And when you used to watch Felix Trinidad or Oscar De La Hoya, Julio Cesar Chavez, and even Benavidez to an extent, they dig on the punches. You want to see a guy rip shots. That's what makes watching Ryan Garcia fights exciting, is the speed. You can literally visibly see that you have to be careful with them because you can get knocked out. And it's just really hard to watch boxing when you don't feel like, hey, the guy standing in front of you, he doesn't need to be concerned about getting caught with the shot. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. probably would knock out Sergio Martinez if it was a 15-round fight. Sergio had a questionable gas tank, but he could crack. So that would have been an interesting fight. I think 147, Julio was the best at in the lower weight classes, 135. Cripped out Ryan Garcia is a joke, man. Hey, you know what? But everybody's calling him out, Bones. Nothing but Bedoiks by Bumbozo. Everybody on with the Bedoinks. Yeah, it's an amateur style. There's no sitting down. There's no sitting in the pocket. You know who does it the best right now, even though he's the public enemy number one, is Virgil Ortiz. You know, you could tell when that guy's in the pocket, he sits and rips. You know, you work on that. When you see the guys with the chest protector, you know, with the body protector, that's what you're working on. You know, Canelo. You see Canelo, Virgil, they work on ripping shots to the body. And that's what's dangerous about it. Yeah, they can get caught, but you're trying to rip that guy's body in half. You know, trying to bend him over. Pause, right? Bend him over. Hit the like, hit the link. But with Barboza and Rocha, they are fighting in an amateur style. It's just like with Shakira Twitterson with these backfoot bitches. When they throw, their feet are already leaving the ground. Dorote is anti-Bedoink. Thank you. See, you guys know boxing. That's why I do it. You guys understand. Najee Lopez was struggling against Diego Pacheco leftovers. Yes, we talked about it. But you know what? I'm going to give him a pass because he's must-see TV. I'm a fan of the guy now. Look, man, if you leave it all on the ring, blood and guts, you've earned my views. You earned my dollar. I'm probably going to buy your fight. Pacheco, Garcia, and Ortiz are all disgraced. Yeah, Pacheco's been talking shit lately, right? He said Mexicans don't have skills. His hood pass, Mexican boxing number one pass may have to be revoked. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Did Diego Pacheco's pass be revoked for the reckless shit he's been saying? Wow, that's just gross. But at least you said my name. Pacheco looked terrible in his last fight. Well, by his comments, it's looking because he believes in the fraud Mayweather style, the hit not be hit, slick style, man, and that's how you fight. Where at? You ran from the smoke. Oh, you guys are battling. Pacheco was right. Wow. Bones, you're getting your card revoked. But this is why I do it, because we all got the opinion, and we can come on and talk about it. Daniel Blanca is very dangerous at 168. Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out. But how about Idiete, man? Very impressive, man. The guy is massive, huge. Pause, huge. That guy is the future, man. I'm putting my chips in for Idiete. What do you guys think? I think he got rocked though, didn't he? Blanco sucks. Yeah, you know what? I lost interest in the fight. I was actually here on the live, but I kind of didn't see anything. It's the wow factor. I'll try to watch the undercards. I'll try to watch the prelims, but I mean, you can't watch it all. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was talking about Casase and Jazz Dickinson, but the guy's name was Jazz. It was in the afternoon with those cards, so it's kind of hard to get to. I had to go do stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want to see fighters as soon as they get hit, they throw down straight away and lose their shit. Morales, yeah, that's probably my number one fighter of all time. WTF, Roger that. To who? Idiete is 6'1" at welterweight. Yeah, man, but he can box. He's not just like some slumbering lumberjack, some stiff guy. The guy has good skills, movement. Look, man, do you think Davina Hanke would win any piece of Idiete? Oscar, look, man, everybody talks shit about Oscar, but when you have a guy like Idiate on your roster, boxing. You have an eye for talent. So Oscar, and he just got a young guy named Stepatillo. It's supposed to be a beast. Bones. When a Mexican boxer wins a belt, it counts for. Whoa. Hey, it's YouTube, man. Come on. You don't want to get Frank Bay canceled out here. You got to be a little more clever. Jesus Estrada, Ruben Aguilar are dangerous guys at welterweight. We will have to see more. But, Barboza, Rocha, they're kind of the anti-Mexican fighter, right? Because Mexican fighters are always labeled rock'em sock'em, flat-footed Mexicans, and they're kind of the opposite. And I was talking about that earlier, right? It's like, Barboza put on a masterclass and people said it was boring. You know what I'm saying? They said it was boring. And it's like, so when a Latino, when a Mexican, when they box, it's boring. But when they slick American, Shakira Twitterson, when they do it, it's a masterclass and you don't know what you're watching. that's the thing I find interesting. You know what I'm saying? It just shows the very double standard that we have in boxing. I don't even know. I didn't even know. Yeah, I really didn't know until literally I put my head on my pillow. I was laying down and I was checking my Twitter feed, and they said, "Oh, Nonito Donaire's on," and I looked on my ESPN. It was actually in the ESPN Deportes, and they had it on. So, yeah, man, and I fell asleep pretty much through the card. I caught a little bit of Nonito, but I didn't bother really to stay up to watch it. And he ends up, when I opened my eyes, he was leaving the ring. Rachel's there looking like, oh, go make us some bread, go make us some money. Salute Nonito and Rachel Donaire, though. They are real ones. They be on the WAG-TVC talking a lot. Salas took that bum via under 3 rounds. Yeah, is that you talking about Salas, the guy from the other day at Zuffa? So, the point I was making about Barboza and Rocha being Mexican fighters, right? They're coming out to Aztec Warrior or Mexican rappers, and they're giving the impression they're going to go to war, and it really wasn't. It's more of a boxing exhibition, and people said it was boring, and I myself thought it was boring. So I will call it out. Even if you are raza and you're Mexican boxing and these things, I think that's what makes the difference. I'm not afraid to call out my own. What I'm saying? Hey, man, we need to see more. I want to see some ganas, man. Some will to win. I will say this though, the Barboza, it was better in the last 2 rounds. They were doing better, and it looked like Barboza maybe tried to go all out, but Sims was not there to win. He was not there to fight. He was there to back the bitch it. So what could you really ask of Barboza? But the fight that will be interesting is Fundora and Keith Thurman, and that's the difference. Is that you're gonna see in that fight. Mark my words, you're gonna see in that fight the guys are gonna be afraid to exchange, and it's not gonna be a lack of they don't want to let their hands go, but there's a real threat of getting knocked out. You're gonna see some heavy leather being exchanged, and that's the difference, man. Fundora's gonna commit to his punches. Keith Thurman is gonna have to go commit to his punches, and you're gonna see an action fight. There may not be a lot of punches thrown, but every punch is gonna mean something. Rocha fights more in that Mexican style. He just doesn't have the punching power. Yeah, you know what? You're right. But what I didn't like is this: when he had a dead man walking, Jojo Diaz, he kind of just decided to box. Fundora will knock out Thurman. And I just look, man. I mean, I guess I'm being critical, but I just think when you have somebody like Jojo Diaz in front of you, you need to get him out of there, man. You need to get the fans what they're looking for, and you're gonna say, well, Frank, you just don't like boxing, you don't like the sweet science. I go, no, man, I'm talking about the fans in attendance. You heard boos. The people were disinterested. I heard boos during the Barboza fight. But let's switch some gears. What do you guys think? So, Alex Barboza, do you think he can beat Ryan Garcia? I'm gonna give a controversial take. I think he could really give Ryan Garcia some problems. He could possibly outbox Ryan Garcia. He's talented. I'll give him that. Ryan can have problems with back foot guys. I could see him moving around and Ryan not being able to land cleanly. Fundora started using his height and reach in the last 2 fights. Yeah, but he can punch. He's just like his sister, Gabriela Fundora, man. She walked her opponent down, put a beating on her, and was really trying to hurt him. And that's what people want to see, man. People want to see. I'll show you right here. You can see her going for the blood and guts, going for the knockout, just putting the beating on. That's what people want to see, man. They want to see you go for it. Really. Look at those shots, man. Bam, 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 bam. It's girl fights, but shit, man, you put a beating on somebody. Oh man, as opposed to Rocha and Barboza kind of just backfooting it. It just leaves a lot to be desired. desired. Fedora started using his height and reach in his last 2 fights. Thurman was struggling against Josecito Lopez and got hurt badly. Yeah, Fedora really needs to body Thurman, man. End his career. He's the man at 154. I guess they're supposedly Jaron Ennis and Keith Thurman fights. That's what they're saying. Kenneth Sims says, I got to do better, but I can't get too down on myself. I was physically limited. So he's over here making excuses. Typical. And that's what these guys do, man. They get in the ring. They don't do shit. And then they make excuses. Barboza calling out Keisha. So I like those fights. Frank Bay's going to say it. We need Boots versus Charlo. Yeah, the rumor is that Boots is trying to negotiate with Xander Zayas. I seen that as one of the rumors. Sims and Barboza, are they going to what are they going to do? I don't know. They're going to have a private conversation. I don't know. It's a little suspect if you ask me. Here's Oscar De La Hoya. Oh, this was the funniest. This was the highlight of the night. Jojo Diaz. Let me play this real quick.
From Santa Ana,
What was that?
California,
He gotta want to get away. Oh my god, that is classic.
Alexa from Santa Ana, California.
Did he really think he won? That is hilarious. Frank gets called a casual because he called Shakira boring. I do, and I own it. That's the difference. I own my shit. You know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 knockdown. That's what people want to see. Ryan Garcia versus Alex Rocha. What do you guys think about that? Does Alex? No, well, look, man. Alex Rocha doesn't have a shot in hell. I think Arnold Barboza can give him trouble though. Hit the like, hit the link. The link is in the chat. Jojo's stupid for that. That was hilarious. But did he really? I mean, seriously though, did he really think he won? That's the crazy thing about it. It's hard to think that he really thought that he did something there. That's what makes it so funny, is he really thought he won. But Boots Ennis is calling out Xander Zayas. That's what they're saying. And I'm gonna tell you guys now, it's fake news. That's not gonna happen. I think Jaron Ennis is just trying to save face. I think he's just trying to salvage his career. Oscar De La Hoya was bagging on Virgil Ortiz. This man, Idiate, is a problem. He's definitely a problem. But what do you guys think? The problem with Barboza and Ryan Garcia, or Rocha and Ryan Garcia, is it's a hard pay-per-view sell. I just don't know and think you could sell that on pay-per-view. What do you guys think? Would Ryan Garcia, Arnold Barboza be pay-per-view? If you're Ryan Garcia, I think you want Alex Rocha. I don't think you want Arnold Barboza. Ryan Garcia will knock out Alexis Rocha under 4 rounds. I think that's what they want. If you're Golden Boy and you're Oscar, you're like, hey, how can we milk the fans and get more money? You know what we should do? We should get Alex Rocha. Because it looks like Devin Haney's going into a Rolly Romero fight. Dana needs to sign Virgil to Zuffa. Virgil's not going anywhere. Man, I mean, look, man, it's just unfortunate. Boots is Brandon Adams, Jonas Talise, and Kazazurakis. That's all you got. I'm beginning to think you're a Zayas fanboy since you always on weak ass channel. Yeah, man, I think Boots Ennis is trying to save face. You know what I'm saying? He's going to pretend to call out Xander Zayas, but I don't think that's a fight that'll happen. I think they're both kind of doing lip service and they'll go in different directions. Look, man, you got to understand, in boxing, you got to maximize your revenue. And typical case in point, Ryan Garcia and Davina Hanke. Could they go straight into a match right away? Of course they could. But what would make more sense? They do 2 tuna bouts. That's what they did before the They did that before the that's when they were trying to set up the rematch in the first time. Remember, Ryan Garcia lost to Rolly Romero, and Davina Hanke stuck the joint out against Ramirez. So they try to do it again, and they'll do it again. That's the thing about boxing, man. You know, when you're a boxing fan, you understand the game. You know what I'm saying? Okay, they're going back and forth. I gotta love it, man. I gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? Handle your business, man. Yeah, man. I think Jaron Ennis might end up fighting Israel Madrimov. I think this is just a look, man. These guys look like this. Keyshawn Davis and Ryan Garcia. They use social media to promote the fights and then also trick the fans. You know, they make you think, oh yeah, they're gonna fight. They get the fans all excited, and then they end up going in a different direction. And it's really just to milk the fans. I'm sorry to tell you. I gotta be the one to tell you. But you know, it'd be interesting to see. I think Ryan Garcia is a high chance that he'll fight Alex Rocha, just because it's probably an easier fight than Arnie Barboza. I think that's a more winnable fight, and it's probably about the same level. You know, hit the like, hit the link. But what do you guys think? Am I onto something? Am I way off? Or do you see it going down like that? Because Davina Hanke is already going into a Rolly Romero fight. But then they were on social media making it seem like they're not going to fight. Davina Hanke was doing some bitch shit talking about Rolly Romero's doing interviews and we're negotiating. So it looked like he had a problem with that, which is very weird and very lame. Yeah, man, this is boxing, man. You know, they just try to milk the fans and maximize their revenue. And when you're a fan of boxing, when you talk boxing like I do, you know, go check out BDA, but we talk about these things and you can see the play before it even hits. You know what I'm saying? You can see it before it happens. More BC. Jaron Ennis is not fighting Madrimov next. Well, I only said that because that was the perceived rumors. You know what I'm saying? They were bringing Madrimov back. Hawker Mustang, thank you. Hit the like. But I just can't see Zayas and Jaron Ennis fighting. It sounds like fake news. It sounds like both guys are trying to pretend like they want to set that fight up, but they have no intention of it. No, I agree with you. Madrimov is more dangerous version of Karen. Yeah, but Jaron Ennis needs a big fight. You know, that's what I did a live. Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis were going back and forth, and you know, Jaron Ennis saying he had to move on. So he needs a credible opponent. You know, he fought the Lima, but he needs an actual credible opponent because he can't fight another Lima or the fans are going to revolt. So he's doing a play trying to say, you know, like he's fighting, he's trying to make a fight with Xander Zayas, but I doubt Zayas' team would even do that also. Ryan would KO Keyshawn. I mean, right now, you know what? Keyshawn would be the favorite, I think, Blaze. You know how the social media and YouTube is. You know they're going to go for Keisha Davis. But, yeah, you know, Ryan has the speed and the reflexes. And Keisha Davis, he's not at 147 yet. And he's trying to make a fight. We don't know who he's going to fight. I have a feeling Jaron Ennis is going to fight Carlos. You know what? That wouldn't be too far out of the ordinary with these guys, you know? And, you know, as long as you understand the way boxing works, then you can see these things coming. Keisha Davis. Well, man, you know, people say, oh, you got nicknames for these guys. That's not right. That's not fair. Say, look, man, Keisha Davis earned it. He's done some questionable things with his career. And I just don't think the guy, I don't buy the hype. You know, I think he ducked De Los Santos. I think he blew weight on purpose. That's what they were saying. So, you know, the guy's been unprofessional in his career, and that's where the nicknames come from when they've earned it. And then he does all this crazy nonsense, chasing so-and-so in the what was he? Did he pull up like he was chasing Debo Haney? And then they were never gonna fight, but they play you guys. You know, they do all these social media skits to just make you think it's gonna happen. Man, Keisha Davis is calling everybody out and not fighting nobody, but he need to fight Shakur. We already know this, man, but that's why I do it, man. I let you guys know. But this is how boxing works, man. They use the social media, they do these fake call outs, and then they end up fighting whoever. Didn't he miss weight by Yeah, and De Los Santos was gonna fight him, but he wanted to, all Keisha Davis had to come in was within 4 pounds, and they said that his Samson Likowitz said that he didn't even try, and that's the difference. They said no, he came back. Okay, so they gave him a chance to come within 4 pounds, and then he came back 6 pounds. So it's like he went and stuffed his face just to avoid the fight. And that lets you guys know where these guys' heads is at, man. You got to see the real from the fake, man. You guys got to see the plays in boxing, man. They're all trying to maximize the revenue without taking a loss. So, Xander Zayas, Dron Ennis, ain't no chance, man. I mean, I could be wrong, man, but it just seems like weird that they put that out there, that they're trying to make it happen. I can't see it happening. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's boxing, man. You kind of learn to see that, what people are the moves they're trying to pull. Just like with Ryan Garcia, everybody's calling Ryan Garcia out. And people say, oh, he ain't shit. He ain't this. He ain't that. But, he must be something. He must be some kind of face of boxing. If everybody, even these guys, Rocha, Keyshawn, Shakira Twitterson, Davina Hankey, everybody's calling him out because they know where the money's at. They know where the money's at, and that's what you got to do. You got to follow the bread, man. Alex Rocha, if I'm going to use my spidey senses, I think he's the lead runner to fight Ryan Garcia. And it's crazy because this guy, he blew weight against Curiel, struggled against Curiel, lost to Santillan, and then he's going to get rewarded a Ryan Garcia fight. Ryan wants the tough fights. Well, yeah, I mean, he wants Davina Hankey, but when they go in these meetings and they think about who they're going to fight, why not get a good payday from the zone? Maybe a decent pay-per-view fighting Alex Rocha to set up the Davina Hankey fight. Isaiah, what are you doing? I believe that's what he means. I wouldn't say face of boxing. I just think the no Ryan money fight. Now he got a title and could dictate how much money going to get put down. And he could pick the opponent. But this is boxing, man. That's why the Rocha and Barboza are calling out Ryan Garcia, because they know where the money's at, and they have a good chance because they're both the zone, both with Oscar, so it makes sense for Oscar. And what Frank Bay does, I just give you the logic. I give you the how these guys think. Alex Rocha could even knock out JoJo. That performance was all right. I would say it was C-, maybe D+. Look, man, you got to do better. You got to do better. And Alex Rocha has had his own problems, but that's not what it's really about. What it's really about is making Ryan Garcia look good, and Alex Rocha would make Ryan Garcia look good, especially before a Davina Hankey fight. While Davina Hankey goes and fights, he'll go fight Rolly Romero. Ryan Garcia will fight Alex Rocha, and you set the fight up that way. That's just boxing, man. That's just that's just how it goes, man. When you've been watching boxing a while and you see how they set these fights up, then you kind of get it. Brian Norman went life and death against Jesus Perez, and Murataya took out Jesus Perez under 3 rounds. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. Yeah. Ryan Norman's rumored to come back in May. Is that what it is? Rumored to come back in May. Who he fights will be remain to be seen. Probably a can, if I'm guessing. I don't think he takes a tough opponent. Ronda Rousey will be fighting Gina Carano. And gosh, dang. What do you guys think? Ronda Rousey, she be looking through, and then she looks like this. That is wild. Are you guys a fan? Are you guys going to watch? That's when I watch women fights. Holy moly. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? That's AI. Damn, I'm an idiot. Eva Longoria. Wow. Do you guys remember Eva Longoria? I think she was married. Who was she married to? Alex Rodriguez. She's 51. How about that, Gilf? Jeez. Yeah, you can see what Frank Bay likes, right? What I'm doing on my Twitter feed. But I like to give you guys the eye candy. How about damn. Oh, Tony Parker. You guys are smart, man. That's why I fuck with y'all. Mackenzie Dern, not boxing, but it is combat. And whoa, Damn, how come she doesn't have more fame and fortune? Jeez, look at Mackenzie. She got the badonk. Davina versus Rolly is a trash fight. But that's what I'm saying, man. That's how boxing moves, man. That's how boxing moves. You know how they do it. Jessica Alba. Ryan Garcia, can you guys see that? When I fight Haney again, he will never touch the ring after that, I promise. Ryan Garcia says, the strangest thing is how Sean Haney knew about the test before anyone. That will always be a stain to their plans. He says Allah told him for whatever he said. Nah, little bro, talk too much at that time. Your whole family are some bitch-made humans. Your bro Haney can't save you. Remember I said that? Now I'm here. It's over. So they're going back and forth. And they're just hyping you guys. You know, that's how you do it. You get the fans all crazy. Oh, man, da-da-da-da-da. And then they end up doing tune-up fights. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, man, when you figure it out, you kind of don't, you don't get too upset about it. Looks like Fight Hook News says, what looked to be a 168 mini tournament, Resendiz, Berlanga, Plant Charlo. Now looks like PBC is going Amandi Resendiz versus Jamel Charlo. I like that. I want to see these guys. Charlo, Spence, Tim Zhu is fighting actually soon. Hit the like. I dropped the link. That protects guys like Haney, Keyshawn, and Secor. Yes, that's the suspicion. I'm glad Tiger Johnson's team jumped Bill. Yeah, you know, and I always think maybe it's set up. You know, they like to, that was a way for Tiger Johnson to get his name in the news, and he's kind of a prospect. But yeah, man, the Haneys are scumbags. Everybody said it. Everybody knows it. They're very scummy. Yeah, more Mackenzie. There it is. Damn. Hit the like for Mackenzie Dern one time. Did you see Ryan Cousin get robbed? Did he get robbed? I didn't see it. Salute Chitlin. Hit the like. I didn't see it, but they've been promoting on social media that he got his revenge, This was hella funny. These guys are nugging at St. Patrick's Day. Oh, God.
Yeah!
Since when did brothers celebrate St. Patrick's? Is it just me or is that new? It looked like some Edgar's getting ramped up. Now, man, when you go out in public, man, when you get out in public, bruh, watch yourself, man. I would never just jump into some shit like that and get cold cocked. Horrible Robbie. Ryan's cousin is almost 3 years younger than the Mutt. Yeah, isn't he older and he's barely starting his amateur career? That's what's crazy, man. That's what's wild. Bill Haney and Kid Austin dad are fighting. Yeah, they've been going back and forth. I guess Davina Hanke released some videos of Mama Schofield beating his girl. And then he had the excuse that it really didn't happen. I'll show that more later. The Edgar's all over the place. Yeah, but why are you jumping into a fight and then getting cold cocked, man? You got to have situational awareness, especially when there's people all over the place. And the brothers, they're all wearing green and they celebrate St. Patty's now. Hey, it's a different world, but it is what it is. And he celebrated like he won a world title. Yeah, what's crazy is that they're covering it on social media, right? Ryan Garcia is such a face of boxing that his cousin gets shine in an amateur fight. That's wild. I've never seen that before. Since when did we start doing that? Hey, man, it's boxing and sometimes it's slow. But you guys haven't said, man, how would you guys feel about a Ryan Garcia Barboza fight? I think it's a good fight. I really think it would be a good tune-up before a Davina Hanke fight, right? Because they both kind of fight in a back foot style. Low nose boxing, salute Low, a real one, man. Legend on these streets. Barboza pitched the masterclass. This is how special Teofimo is. How special Teofimo Shakur is. Hey, that's a good. That's what I was saying, man. Is that it's crazy when they call a masterclass And then they call it boring. But in other ones, they say it was fantastic and fun. But yeah, Teofimo did beat Barboza. That did happen. And Barboza, he poses too much, man. It's always like he's stuck in one gear. But I do think Ryan Garcia versus them is a good fight, is a hell of a fight. Ryan's cousin is no more than Davina. I don't know about that, but shit, it's getting a lot of push and pull on social media. Davina out here paying for the pussy and he begging whores to have his. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious. You guys got me to read that. Amazing parenting. Hey man, he's got money, and that's all that matters. I mean, you pull these Instagram hoes. You're pulling women off Instagram. What do you expect? Barboza showed some moves that he learned from the Teo fight. He knows how to win. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a great point. People forget that Teofimo beat Barboza, who just had a good performance. And I give Barboza a hard time because he fights in his style, but I did say it was a masterclass. Low Nose did call it. It was a masterclass, and I wanted to point that out. Why is it when a Latino or Mexican has a masterclass, it's boring? Why are they always expected to go out and put on a rock'em sock'em performance? Barboza was rate drained against Teo. That's what he said, man. It's interesting, that they call him excuses or reasons, but that's what he said. A lot of Mexican American boxers are becoming with streams like Aiden Ross and Neon. Hey, and Ryan is the pioneer of that. I fell in love. Whoa. His resume is decent. He beat Jack Catterall, Jose Ramirez, Jose Pedraza, and Kenny Sims. Hey, man, this is why I do it. I mean, because shit, I forgot about all that. I'm pretty much in the here and now. And, it's hard to keep all that shit in your head to see, who's fighting who. It's all about what you've done for me lately. You know what I'm saying? No excuse. Barboza got beat by Teo, who is a generational talent. Yeah, what's crazy is and then Teo did the whole the rumors, that he laid down. People are saying he laid down. He put out some cryptic messages, but that was a big win for Teofimo Lopez. It was. And Barboza is a A-level fighter. I'm going to say that. I'm giving him shit, but he is A-level. I think he's a former champion. He has one loss, 30 wins, 31, 32 wins, one loss. So that is a great record. A shot Ramirez, Jose performed better against Haney than Brian. Okay. A shot Jose Ramirez performed better against Haney than Brian Norman did. Wow. That is very interesting. I a lot of these things, man, these points that you guys make are points that I forget about as well. Teo is no generational talent. F out of here. Hey, man, this is why we do it, though, because, this is what we come on here for, to talk about it. Boxing is opinion based. There's not a lot of facts. You can go by the belt, you can go by pound for pound ranking, but at the end of the day, it's really just a narrative. Barboza beats a lot of guys. I got Barboza beating Norman, and Rolly Romero, he can box, and he's an underrated counterpuncher. You know what? That's another great fight. See, man? Shit, man. See, Frank Bay's never gonna get on here and act like the authority, because you guys make better points than me, and all I'm doing is reading it. That would be a hell of a fight. Let's get that cracking. I had Loma versus Teo a draw long time ago. I watched that fight many times, and it changes every time. Teo got to do something at 147 for us to call him a generational. He got beat up by Shakur, started the same performance. He meant to be that way, and sit when he threw the fight. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. And when I had it on my feed, let me see if I can bring it up. But the trainer for Brandon Figueroa, right? He was talking about being over in when he beat Nicky Ball, right? And he's talking about how dirty of a sport boxing can be, right? A lot of shady shit going on. Here he is. Manny Robles, right? Let's hear what he has to say about the shit in boxing. because this shit does happen, man. I used to be like, nah, you're just making excuses. But let's hear what he has to say.
Coach and myself agreed that we were going to be present for each other's fighters when they got their hands wrapped. And when I get there, Nick Ball's hands are already wrapped.
Oh
You know
my
what I mean?
gosh,
And
dude.
I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I argued with the commission, and they told me I was late.
Did they rewrap his hands,
No,
Manny?
I tried, but they
Damn.
didn't.
So you don't even know if that was
Exactly. So, you know, the commission and the WBA supervisor they're pretty much telling me who the A side is, right?
Yeah.
Because what they did was wrong. The gentleman that works for the promoter shows up and he asked me, Manny, what do you want, Manny? What do you want me to do? And I said, at the very least, since I wasn't present, I don't want anybody on their team to be present when I wrap my fighter's hand.
Yeah.
You got it, Manny. No problem. All of a sudden, the supervisor says, oh, I get it now. Oh, so now you get it. So now that the promoter's here.
So he said that Nick Ball had already had his hand wrapped before he went in. So this is the shady shit that goes on in boxing. So there is shady shit. Now, is that a stretch between if somebody threw the fight or it was fixed? It's hard to say. But shit does happen, man. You guys are going back and forth. I like this, though. Nava was Casase, Mexico versus the world. That's what I'm hearing. That's what people are posting. Casase is better than Foster. I think it's a better fight. That is absolute war. Loma had Tio in trouble. I gave Loma every round. Yeah, man. I mean, that's what boxing is about, right? That's what we do it for. That's why we come to talk about it. We can go back and forth with this all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Who won the close fights? And you know what? I'll start doing. Maybe I'll do some. You guys pick the fight, and we could, talk about who won or lost. But I think that's gonna be it. It's been about an hour. I want to thank everybody. Frank Bay, let me know in the comments who you guys. Everybody's calling out Ryan. I don't make it about Ryan, but they call him out. Should he go straight for Devin Haney? Should he fight Rocha? Should he fight Barboza? What do you guys think, man? Let me know. But with that, let me get some shout outs. More BC, King KO, Lowe's Nose Boxing, all the Never Sobers, John Blaze, Isaiah, what are you doing? Chitlin, Mia, man, I want to thank everybody. Roger that. Hit the like. Leave some comments. Let me know who you guys want to see. And we're going to get out of here, man. Peace.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Frank Bay, talking that boxing biz, say your opinion, but you don't say it. What it is, you know that it's Frank Bay, popping that boxing biz, but you don't mean it. Frank Bay, Frank to the busy bay, that's right, you know that it's Frank Bay. Frank Bay, popping that boxing biz, say your opinion, but you
Shout out King KO.
Remember,
Shout out KO. My bad. Peace.